everyone.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Tonight, we're going to have a wonderful session. We have an hour and a half of a beautiful interactive session. And we're going to start by, I'm going to introduce myself briefly, and then we're going to go right into guided meditation. It's about 6 minutes long, but just to get us started and get us in a reflective kind of a mode. So my name is Ann O'Hare, and I am a BK teacher. I've been with the Brahma Kumaris since 2011. In the world, I am a registered nurse. I have a doctorate in nursing leadership. I work for the VA, the Department of Veterans Affairs, and I also teach BK meditation classes out of my home in Ocala, Florida. So this has been a wonderful journey for me, and I hope tonight that I'll be able to share some insights about the mind. The mind is a very important aspect of our life, so we're going to talk about that. And so let's start off with a meditation. And so you don't have to do anything, just sit back and watch the video, and then we'll come back and we'll start the class.
Meditation is simply the art of letting go. It's the sacred art of forgetting everything of the world in order to remember everything of your true nature. Imagine right now that you are sitting on the edge of the world, and in this moment, forget everything. Forget your name, forget your history, forget the drama of your life or any task you have lined up ahead of you. Just forget everything. Let it all slip away. Let it all dissolve as you enter into an expansive sense of peace. That is your natural nature. You don't need to strive to experience that nature. You only need to forget everything and move deep inside, where you can sense that light of the soul, that light of your eternal self, illuminating through every cell of your body. Allow that light to drench your entire being. And when any other thoughts come up, when the world tries to tug at you again, practice forgetting. Forget it all, leave it all behind, release it. And allow your soul to enter an awareness of being beyond all of that, beyond the stars and the moon, beyond your story, beyond your name, in a region of light, and just dwell in your peace. Just dwell in this natural awareness of being eternal. There's no need to struggle for it. There's no need to strive to create it. You simply have to forget all the things of the world because they are not who you are. They are only passing stories and scenes. And as you shed them and forget them, you can move into the illumination, into the peace that is who you are. Allow yourself to just go deeper and deeper and deeper into this peace. And feel the simplicity, the light, the freedom that comes with being beyond all the things of the world. It's as if you're floating, weightless, in a warm sea of soothing vibrations, of light, of peace. Allow yourself to just release into that peace. Relax into that peace. Simply holding the awareness that you are light. When you fill your mind with this light, when you learn the sacred art of forgetting the world in order to remember your truth, then when you return to the world, you will bring with you the light of awareness. And as you bring that into your story, your actions, your words, your life will light up with the light of your true being. Meditation is simply the art of forgetting the world to remember the soul.
Okay. So welcome back, everyone. I hope everyone was able to relax and center themselves into the space. We're going to explore this topic together. So if everyone could go ahead and put on their videos for a second so we can say hello to each other. And hello, Om Shanti, everyone. That's a greeting of peace to everyone.
Om
And
Santi.
Om Shanti.
we have two co-hosts. And I have to, brother has to say his name because I'm not going to say it right. So brother, would you like to say hello?
Om Shanti, sister. This is Anand Bhai.
Yes. Okay. And Sister Vino is with us too? Okay, so I just want to see everyone and say hello to everyone. There she is. Okay, let's see. Wow, we have, Zoom makes no distance, right? We can be anywhere and see each other. It's so wonderful. We say hello to everyone, say wave, say hi. Okay. Hello, everyone.
Hi.
I'm flipping through to see everyone briefly.
Om Shanti. Hello,
Okay.
Om Shanti.
Hi. Om Shanti.
No,
Okay.
okay.
So tonight we have a very, very interesting topic to me. Make the mind your friend. The choice is yours. And the reason I chose this topic is because when you ask anyone, usually when you ask anyone, what do they want? What is the answer most of the time?
Happiness.
It's usually
Peace.
happiness or peace, right?
Peace.
And a lot of times they'll say peace of mind, right?
Yeah.
So part of the exploration that I've been doing, and anybody who's doing spiritual work, the exploration of the mind, how to make the mind my friend, and how to let the mind work for me, kind of, you know? So tonight we're going to go through some different ideas and different topics. And I'll ask questions at times, and you can feel free to write in the chat box if you don't want to speak. There are about 20, 22, 23 of us. So you can keep yourselves muted, please, until you want to speak. Then you can unmute yourself to speak, like if I ask a question, okay? So the first thing I'd like to talk about is, what is the mind? So if you ask anyone, you can maybe read books on it, or listen to philosophers, or listen to different religions or so forth. And they may all have a different definition of what the mind is. The mind is not something we can see, right? The mind is not really the brain, because the brain is a piece of anatomy, physical anatomy, right? The mind is a function of me as a living being, as a living person, a living human being. I have a mind. And the mind, I'm going to give a definition just for this class. We'll have a working definition for this class. So the working definition for this class is going to be, the mind is the interface between me and the physical world. And in that area that I call mind, which I experience inside myself, I can have thoughts, I can have visualizations, I can have feelings, I can have experiences, right? So I can have thoughts, feelings, experiences, like pictures. I can create scenes in my mind, and I can have all kinds of experiences. So for this class, the mind is the place, it's not a physical place, but the part of myself where I have all these experiences. And so if everyone is saying, I want peace of mind, then what's going on in my mind? You know? And are we really aware of what's going on in our mind? So we're going to talk about that today. And the first thing I'd like you to do is just take a moment and think to yourself, okay, I have this part of myself that I'm going to call the mind now. It's not me, but within this part of me, I can think, I can feel, and I have all my experiences. And each one of us has our own mind. So for instance, if we have two people and you have a situation, one person would have one experience and another person would have another experience, right? So it's not, we don't share the same mind, let's say. Okay, we may share the same ideas or but we don't share the same mind for this topic. So if we think about what is in my mind right now, so we have to think about, how does the mind work? So that's the first thing that we want to talk about. How does the mind work? And first, I want to hear from you. I want to ask you first, to the whole class, do you feel right now that your mind is working like in your favor in general? Or do you feel as though sometimes it kind of does its own thing? What do you think?
It does its own thing.
Most of the time.
No, no, right now it's here. We are listening to you and getting the stuff, but
Right.
yeah, but
So
not
right now I'm receptive, right?
Yes.
So I'm sitting back and I'm letting myself be receptive, right? And then generally, like throughout the day, I'm just wondering what our experience is in my mind. Am I having a peaceful, agreeable experience, or is something else going on? Is the mind like doing its own thing? Am I directing what the mind is doing, or is it doing its own thing? What do you think? What's your experience?
Sometimes it does its own things now. Even though we want it to go somewhere else, it goes its own way.
Right.
Most
Yeah, it gets pulled by resentment and disagreements, those kind of things.
It gets pulled, right? The mind will get pulled into things, into thoughts,
Pla-
into thinking, right?
yeah.
planning.
And running, right? It starts to run
Planning.
on a
Planning.
topic. I'm sorry.
Planning.
Planning, yes. So it's planning, okay?
Mm.
What about worrying?
Yeah.
What about fear? What about fearful thinking, right? What about, let's say, what we would call waste thoughts, which would be like thoughts that, you know, one thing happens and all of a sudden I'm thinking of all the possibilities and I'm thinking of everything that could possibly happen. And, you know, I'm thinking of the past and I feel guilty, and I'm thinking of the future and I'm worried and I'm, right? So I'm being pulled in all these directions.
Mhm.
And all this is happening in my mind, right?
Yes.
Because no one else is seeing it. No one else is feeling it,
Yes.
except maybe vibrationally. If I'm upset, they can feel that, maybe they can feel something, but they're not experiencing what I'm experiencing in my mind. So it's really an individual thing, right? So when you ask someone what they want out of spiritual practice, usually they say peace of mind. So we want our mind to be peaceful. We want our mind to be quiet, right? Is it possible for the mind to be quiet?
Yes.
Yes, yes,
It is, right?
yes.
Now we've had that experience, but what I've noticed is, have you noticed that when you try to sit down and do meditation, that's when you notice what's going on in there, right? The most, right? Because you could
Yes.
be feeling like you're out going through the day and everything's fine and you're on your roll, and then as soon as you sit down to do meditation, it's like there's fireworks of all kinds of stuff is going off in there, right?
Yeah.
And it's kind of go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yeah,
said
right?
it
It's like,
right.
yes, you don't even realize what's going on until you try to sit down to meditate, right? So the first thing I'd like to talk about is, how does the mind work? Now we know what it's been doing, right? So how does it work? Where are these thoughts coming from? Where are the feelings coming from? Where are the memories coming from? Why do they keep on coming? Why do I have thoughts when I don't want to? Why do I keep feeling maybe frustrated or angry or jealous or whatever when I know intellectually that I don't need to, right? How come I still have those feelings and thoughts when I'm doing such good spiritual effort and I'm such a good person and I've done all the studies and I know all this, I know better. And why does my mind keep doing this, right? So what I'd like to talk about a little bit is like, how does the mind work? One of the things that we learn in psychology is that whatever has happened in the past helps us be who we are today, right? So whatever we've experienced in the past kind of colors our way of seeing things, okay? Now in spirituality, we go a kind of a step deeper than that. In spirituality, we say, not only is our experiences in our memory, but our experiences create our personality in such a way. We use the word sanskar. We use the word sanskar. For those of you from a Eastern tradition, you probably heard that word before. That word means that I have a tendency, sanskar is like a tendency to respond in a certain way in a certain situation. So let's say I studied to be a nurse, which I did, right? So I studied to be a nurse, and I created sanskars of a nurse. And I practiced being a nurse and so forth. So whenever there's a situation that comes up, maybe a medical situation or something, my sanskars of being a nurse will come forward. And with those sanskars will come thoughts, feelings, understanding, knowledge, stuff like that. So it's more than just random thoughts. It's actually like a group of understandings and personality that will come forth, okay? So when we try to think about how does my mind work, it may seem like the mind is all over the place. But what has happened is over time, many, many years of doing actions, having experiences, we've created those sanskars. We've created all different kinds of sanskars. And they are getting triggered in our life, okay? So for instance, if I have, let's say, I'm married, let's say, and I have, every time my husband says something to me, I react in a certain way. And it's almost like a script, you know? He says this, and then I say this back, and then we get into a fight, and then I go away, and then I feel bad, and then I apologize, and I say to myself, I don't want to do it again. And then the next day I do it again, right? Because the pull comes from within. I'm already reacting, right? So some of that is like very visible because it's in behavior. But what about the more subtle things? Because we say we want peace of mind. Maybe I'm not fighting with anyone. Maybe I've been on a spiritual journey for a while, and maybe I've been able to be calm and be gentle and learn how to be, you know, generous hearted. And maybe those personality traits are coming out. But when I try to sit and meditate, my mind is still all over. So in this class, I want to talk about the possibility of getting the mind to work for you. So rather than as soon as I sit down to meditate, it's like a free-for-all, right? I want to get a little bit of control. And control sounds like harsh, but it's not harsh control. It's control meaning that I understand. And I'm now directing the thoughts, and I'm now directing my experiences, okay? Now, because of all the experiences that we've already had and the sanskars that are there, it may not be easy as we think to switch those thoughts, okay? Has anyone ever had, been in a class where they talk about positive thinking? Anybody had that? A positive thinking class, right? I'm gonna think positive thoughts, and I'm gonna, you know, generate positive feelings, and that's gonna help me throughout the day. How many of you have had success doing that? Like consistently, how many of you have had success with that? Positive thinking.
Success.
Anyone?
Temporary success.
Yeah,
Temporary positive, yeah.
right. It works for a while, right? And then I go right back into it's almost like the power of that, what's underneath just takes over again. So if I keep trying to put little icing on it, you know, it doesn't take away what's going on underneath. So what we're going to talk about tonight is how we can start to look at what's going on underneath. And actually, we have to face it first. And this is the part where people get stuck, because it can be scary to face what's going on inside your mind. You know, this is why people don't meditate regularly, because they sit down to meditate, the mind goes all over the place, and they think, well, I can't meditate, right? Or I'm not successful at it, or I don't enjoy it. I'm not enjoying it, so I'm not going to continue. But what's actually happening is good, because what's happening is they're actually becoming aware of what's going on in their mind. So the first step in making your mind your friend is to start being committed to watching what's going on in your mind. Not reacting to it, not getting upset about it, but just watch. So we're going to do a little guided meditation right now. I'm just going to talk us through. It's going to be very simple. And we're going to do one snippet of the day. We're going to do the very beginning of the day. And then I'm going to ask for feedback. So everybody just get yourself nice and comfortable. And you can close your eyes if you like. And I'm going to talk us through this short meditation. So everyone close your eyes. And imagine that you're in bed this morning. Before you woke up this morning. So bring yourself back into memory. You're in bed, you're lying in bed. So put yourself there, put yourself in the bed. And now remember when the alarm clock went off or when you woke up. And now I want you to play the video, play the movie. Go to the bathroom or whatever you do, the first couple of minutes of being awake, maybe the first 5 minutes of being awake and getting out of bed. Play that video in front of in your mind's eye right now. And I want you to notice what you are thinking during that time. So just play the video. So I'm getting up. What am I thinking? What did I think when the alarm went off or when I got up? What did I think when I put my feet on the floor? What was I thinking when I was walking to the bathroom? What were my thoughts when I'm taking care of myself, brushing my teeth? So I want you to run it maybe twice. Once you get through it, I want you to run it one more time, and now I'm not going to speak. So run through it, and I want you to notice what you're thinking. Okay. So now you can open your eyes. So who would like to share a little bit about what they were thinking when they got up this morning? Who wants to share? What kinds of thoughts were going through? Can you share? Someone share a little bit.
I was just thinking about what I was doing. Like I heard the alarm coming on my mind, and then I was walking to the bathroom and then brushing my teeth. Nothing else. But that normally doesn't happen.
I'm sorry, can you speak a little louder, brother? I couldn't hear you there.
Okay, I will start over. Is it better?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, that's better. Thank you.
Okay, so I just heard the alarm and stepped out of the bed, walked towards bathroom, not thinking anything, and then brushing my teeth, and then just thinking that I'm brushing my teeth. Nothing else was coming on my mind. But normally that does not happen. In this exercise, yeah, it will not
Right.
happen.
Okay, good point. So now in the exercise, you're actually present, right? And you're going through each step, and just all you're thinking of is, I'm getting up, I'm brushing my teeth. But you're saying normally that doesn't happen. So what happens normally? That's what I'm kind of asking.
Yeah, all sort of thoughts just invade me, like just bombards.
Like what? Can you give an example? Like what kind of thoughts?
Something related to work or what I need to do, worry about, hey, I have to finish up so many things. How do I do that? There are so many things in backlog, all those kind of things. Not invading
Right. Okay. Everybody, does any of that sound familiar? Anybody
Yes.
that sounds familiar? Something like that, right?
Yes.
Okay. Anyone
Yes.
else want to share? Very good, brother. Anyone else want to share?
I want to go back to sleep.
Yeah. What about all the thoughts like, oh, do I have to get up? Blah, 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 right? I can't believe it.
Exactly.
Can I 5 more minutes? I want to go back to bed, right?
Yes, yes.
Very good. Very good. What else? Somebody
I
else.
do the same thing every morning. I feed the cat first
Mhm.
and make my coffee. And then I can have other thoughts.
Shanti
Okay.
sister, I would like to share.
Sure.
In the morning while I was brushing my teeth, I wanted to do special meditation for a group of people.
Uh,
I do every day the affirmations. Remember that Shivani's affirmations? So I did special meditation for the special people for whom I had assigned. And then I did the affirmations too. That is what I thought I would be doing. And I did this morning.
uh,
Excellent.
Thank
See,
you, sister.
what you just said, brother, now
Sorry?
what you just said is the last part of the class, huh?
Oh, okay.
What you just said was what we're going to talk about at the end, because what we want to do is we want to change, right? We want to change our experiences. And
Sure.
so, yeah, that's great. So what you did was you heard Shivani talk about this thing.
Right.
You decided that you wanted to do it. So you
Yeah.
chose a moment and you did it while you were brushing your teeth, and you brought up that memory of that instruction that you received, and then you thought you would try it, right?
I've been doing this every day. In
Oh, there
in
you
the
go.
evenings, I do that every day.
So now you've already changed your whole habit, right?
Oh, yes.
Yes, you've already changed your whole habit. So what has so that we can parlay this thing. So what we're talking about now is like the ordinary thinking, like what what brother was sharing about, you know, I'm worried about work, I'm worried about this, or I don't want to get up, or I can think about something else. You know, sometimes
Or I
you
want
can
to go
wake
to
up,
sleep again, like one sister said.
right, I can go back to sleep, or maybe you could even be thinking that you may have been upset about something before you went to sleep, and then you wake up and it comes right back. You know, maybe we have one of those, right? Like maybe I was upset the day before, and as soon as I wake up, the memory comes right back and I'm right back in it. That's another thing that can happen.
Yes.
Anybody have the, oh, my body is so uncomfortable? Anybody have the body things?
I did, yeah. Actually, as soon as I woke up, out of habit, I just sit down for a while, like a few seconds, and then I walk to the bathroom, and like the whole time from the time I woke up, I could feel the pain in my body, and I walked with it to the bathroom until I came back and until I prepared for my meditation. So
Right.
that's what kind of occupied my mind most of the time.
Yeah. So the body, the thoughts about the body can occupy the mind too, right? That's
Right.
important. So worries about what we have to do, thoughts that I want to go back to sleep, right? Maybe things that were upsetting me before, or maybe worries, you know, old stuff might be coming up, back up. Maybe body is a big one. Okay. So all of those thoughts can be running through. And that was how short of a video did we watch? How short was that movie? 5 minutes, 10 minutes at the most? And how long are we awake in a day? Right? 13, 14, 15 hours. So if I'm thinking that much, now I'm not talking about the brother who shared about the affirmations, okay? Because he's already ahead of the class right now. So let's talk, we're talking about what ordinarily, what we're using our mind for, right? And if in that 10 minutes, I have that much going on, right? Can you imagine after an hour of that, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4, why are we exhausted by the afternoon? You know, you think it's normal because, oh yeah, everybody gets tired in the afternoon. Listen, this kind of thinking will make anybody tired, right? If I got all of that worry and upset and extra thoughts and planning and all this stuff going on, it's exhausting. And then what happens is we feel like we're not taking care of ourselves. We feel weak. And then we say, oh, I got to meditate. I have to try to meditate, but I can't meditate. My mind is going crazy when I try to meditate. So we don't really seem to get relief in our mind. So if we look at this exercise and we just say, okay, we took a little snapshot and we saw what's going on in our mind, right? And we can pretty much say, I'm going to say, and you can tell me if it's fair, that pretty much that's what's going on the whole day. Is that fair? I mean, it's fair, right? Okay. In one version or another, that's what's going on the whole day, right? And we wonder why we don't feel peace. We wonder why and because we feel also, I'm a good person. I want to help people. I am a good person. I would never wish harm on anyone. I'm just trying to do my best. And that's all true. So it's very frustrating and very, I want to say, a little demoralizing to feel like you can't get control over our experience, right? I can't seem to get control over my experience. Then we get caught up in what's going on outside and we totally shut down. We're not even aware. We just become aware when we try to meditate, right? And then everything comes up. So if we look at this, the next topic is, how healthy is my mind? So I want to get some feedback. First, I want to read the comments. This first thought comes to my mind is what the day is going to be today and what I have to do. And then I plan the day before I can do meditation. Sometimes the mind goes all over more before sleeping and waste thoughts come. Yeah. Trying to rest, that's another thing, right? So if I try to meditate, the mind's going to go all over. When I try to go to sleep, that's another one, right? Because I'm trying to go quiet and then the mind starts going. Yeah. So how healthy is my mind is the next question. So do you think, I mean, we know the answer, but is it fair to say that maybe this way of thinking, this way of operating maybe isn't so healthy? Is it fair? I mean, what brother shared, and I'm glad he shared it before, right away at the beginning, was that he gets up and while he's brushing his teeth, he's doing affirmations and he's doing service with his mind. He's actually using his mind to send good wishes and pure feelings to groups of people. Now compare that way of using your mind to what we were just talking about. Now, I want to avoid doing good and bad, okay? There's no such thing as good and bad in spirituality, all right? It's not good and bad. It's, does it work? Or is it working for me? Is it not working for me? Is it giving me energy? Is it making me feel good about myself? Or is it draining my energy? Is it making me feel like I'm not successful or I'm not, I'm not powerful, okay? So if we look at it without right and wrong, and we all do it, so it's not like, oh, my mind is going crazy, but his mind is quiet, we all have the problem. So now let's take a look and say, how healthy is my mind, and is my relationship with my mind healthy? Now I'm going to talk about something that maybe nobody wants to talk about, because it's like I don't want to say the word, but it's like a dirty secret. I don't want to say it like that, but it's a secret that we have inside our mind. And I'm going to bring it up because it's very, very important that we bring it to light. And it's called self-criticism. Who has self-criticism? Right? The voice that's telling you, you're not this, yeah, see, I told you you're not good. See, I told you you're not spiritual. If you were spiritual, you wouldn't get angry. If you were a good person, you wouldn't be doing that, right? Anybody have those voices?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I'm bringing it up for a reason, because we have been like listening to that voice and getting upset. It's just a voice, isn't it? I mean, let's pull the plug on this thing right now, yeah? It's just a voice, right? But we've been believing it and being worried that it's true, and you know, getting back and forth with it. Oh, but I want to be good. No, but if you were good, you wouldn't be doing this, and right? So all of that is going on in the mind, okay? So if we look at that like a relationship, is that a healthy relationship in there?
No.
It's not, is it? Okay.
No.
If you were in a relationship with someone who constantly told you how you were no good, would you stay in that relationship?
No.
No.
Maybe.
Now, we can't, maybe, right? But would you want to be in that relationship? I mean, maybe you can't get
No.
out right away, but right. So, I mean, I'm glad we're laughing, because we have to like, we gotta like get some air into this thing, right? Get some light and some air into what's going on in here. Okay? So this like negative relationship thing going on between the one that's criticizing, and I'm defending, and then I'm criticizing, and then I'm defending. Wow. Is that an energy drain or what? Right? And I don't deserve that. Does anyone deserve that?
No.
No.
None of us deserve that, right?
Mm.
So let's again, that's another point. So let's say, okay, maybe I haven't had a healthy relationship with my mind. Maybe certain aspects of my mind have been, you know, mean to me, mean to different parts, and they're fighting each other, and who knows, right? But maybe it hasn't been so healthy, and maybe I've been feeling hurt by it, and maybe I've been sitting in the dark or keeping it to myself or suffering in silence kind of thing. I don't have to do that anymore. So if this is touching you and you feel like this resonates with you, tell yourself, like, it's okay to let that thing go. It may not go away right away. It's not going to disappear overnight, because you have a sanskar, right? And you have the habit of doing that, right? But I'm here to tell you that it's just a voice. You don't have to believe it, and you don't have to be afraid of it. Okay? So that's the thing with the relationship. So the relationship within my mind right now maybe is not so healthy. If I'm constantly saying having worrisome thoughts, if I'm constantly concerned about my body, like I'm being pulled into my body all the time. Now, that's not to say that I don't pay attention. If I have pain, or, you know, I have to take care of my body. And you know how we have, I hope this resonates, but you know how, like, in the old days when, you know, people didn't have money to buy a new washing machine every year, like you used to rig the washing machine, right? It didn't work, so you would rig it. You'd get a wrench and you'd put the wrench on it so it would work, and you'd figure out how to close the door so it stays closed, and right? Like there would be little issues and you'd figured out how to rig it, you know? So we've come up with little riggings on how to get through our day, right? On how to get through, like, with our bodies, right? We come up with, if I step this way, then it doesn't hurt. If I step this way, then it does hurt. If I, you know, turn this way, I got to make sure I do this. And so we do need to pay some attention, right? Because we have to be able to function. Yes. So we have to pay some attention, but then you have to wonder, is that relationship healthy? Am I thinking about it too much? Am I getting the right information? Am I taking my medicine? Am I doing what I'm supposed to do? Let's say, right? There are certain things that maybe I'm supposed to do for my health. Am I doing that? So those are questions I can ask too, in terms of having a healthy relationship. Wherever your mind is being pulled, that's where you need to bring your attention, kind of, maybe. We need to make sure that those areas are healthy. So back to the mind now. So we've decided that, okay, the relationship in there maybe is not so healthy. So now I would like to make the relationship in here healthy. I want my mind to work for me. I want my mind to be peaceful. Not just, it can work. I mean, I can still use my imagination. I can still use, you know, my knowledge, my understanding and everything. But there are certain aspects like waste, obsessing, anxiety, guilt, worry, too much thinking about one thing, right, or another, and it becomes an energy drain. So what do I do? What is the first step? Now that we have, well, we've taken the first step of taking the look at it, right? Maybe got a couple of laughs. Now we know what's in there, okay? So now how do I change it? How do I create a beautiful, harmonious, healthy mind? What is the first thing do you think we need to do? Now, we already did the seeing what's there already. That's the first thing, actually. What's the next step? What do you think is the next step? What do you do next? Once you've seen it all, what do you do next?
You try to tell your mind whatever you want instead of saying this. I'm like this, I'm like that, instead of saying I'm good, I'm peaceful, I'm happy. So whatever you want to be, that is what you tell your mind.
Very good.
Have
So we
on-
start creating pure and positive thoughts, right? Now, we talked before about affirmations, right? Like positive affirmations. Now, affirmations are not bad. I said they don't work, or they work temporarily. But how do we get them to work deeper? How do we get them in deeper? What do you think? How do we get them to stick? How do we get them in deeper? What do you think? How does the other stuff get in there?
We keep repeating till it becomes a second nature.
Practice.
Yes.
Practicing.
Practice, repetition, and one more thing. What
Yeah,
makes
Attention.
Yes.
Make that
Attention,
the
we have to.
last thought when you go to sleep, so that will be the first thought when you wake up.
good? That's a good practice. So whatever we put in before we go to sleep, and this is good too. This is part of like taking care of yourself, taking care of your mind, right? We need to have like a slow down routine at night and make sure we finish the day.
And the morning time too, same thing. Morning and
Exactly.
evening while going to sleep and waking up, you quiet down quite a lot. Then the things come up, but you can handle it better.
Right. Because you haven't drained your energy, right? You've actually taken care of your mind. You've actually taken steps to take care of your mind. So back to the affirmations for a minute, those pure positive thoughts Sister was sharing. I am peaceful. Whatever it is that you want, you start saying you are that. I am a peaceful person. I am a peaceful soul. I am a loving soul. I am a good person. Now, the way to make it stick is the same way that all the other stuff stuck. You have to have a feeling with the thought.
Yep.
That's the way it sticks. And if you want to make it really stick, put an action with it as well. So like brother was sharing, he's brushing his teeth, which is a physical action, but he's having affirmations and then he's actually doing something. He's actually doing service with the mind. And what that does is, because he's generating positive, pure thoughts about himself, and then he's sharing that energy out. And you know that karma, right? If I give, I'm going to get back, right? But also, remember we were talking about those sanskars, right? And the reason that all that stuff is going on in my mind is because of all the prior actions that I've done and experiences that I've had with all that other thinking. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the same exact process, but I'm going to use it in a spiritual way, in a positive way, in a healthy way. I would recommend doing this at night before you go to sleep
And
and
morning.
in the morning when you wake up. Because those are the times when you're not like fully engaged in the world. And we actually also have something in Brahma Kumaris called traffic control. Many of you
Yeah.
may be, but yeah, we have traffic control, which is during the day to take a little time out, even if it's like we play music. So like for 3 minutes, we'll be, we'll stop what we're doing and actually go into meditation. But you can set your phone or set your alarm or something. So every day, every hour or every couple of hours, take a few minutes and just remind yourself, I am putting, my mind is in training.
Cutting off.
I'm retraining my mind because I want a healthy relationship with my mind. I want my mind to work for me. And the mind actually is happiest when it's doing happy things, right? But the thing is that the mind doesn't know any better. If you give it a certain information, it's going to deal with that. If you give it different information, it's going to deal with that. So we have to start creating pure and positive thoughts. Now, this is where Raj Yoga comes in, the meditation that we teach at the centers comes in. Because this Raja Yoga meditation is all about creating pure and positive thoughts about the self and connecting with your eternal experience of being eternal, and then also connecting with the Supreme Soul, or you can say God, or you can say, my higher self. So a pure being. So when I do that, it starts to really generate that power. And you can see right away the mind begins to shift. Anger starts to go away. Reactions start to go away. It's because the soul, the soul is actually getting fed what it needs to gain some power back. So in terms of the mind, so now we're going to do another guided meditation. I'll do a little one. We're going to do a little one together. And what I want you to do is we're going to play that same video again. And we're going to play that same 5-10 minutes again. But this time, I want you to think, before we do the movie, before we do the meditation, I would like you to think of someone in your life that you think needs a blessing or needs good vibrations or needs some help, needs some assistance. Somebody that you're not really that charged about. Like if it's somebody that you're currently having a fight with and you're trying to don't do that person. Do the person where you know that they're having a rough time and you feel like you want to maybe help them. You want to give them something from your heart, okay? So think of that person. And now we're going to put ourselves back in the bed, okay? So close your eyes. We're going to go back in the bed. And now I'm going to give the commentary now. So I'm becoming aware. And I'm waking up. And my first thought is, okay, I am now waking up. That's my first thought. I am now waking up. The next thought can be something like good morning to the universe, good morning to God, good morning to creation, good morning to, so like a greeting, right? So I'm waking up, I'm greeting the world. And now I'm aware of my body. So if there's something going on with my body, I'm aware of it. And I'm going to do whatever I can to cooperate with my body. So my next thought would be, okay, I'm going to cooperate with my body and, I'm working with my body and this relationship is good. We're going to do it. We're going to get up and it's going to be fine. Then maybe a thought wants to come up like I want to go back to sleep. And you say to that thought, now I'm going to say to that thought, it's okay that that's there, but we're getting up now. So I'm going to work through that. I'm getting up. Now I'm walking to the bathroom. And as I'm walking to the bathroom, see, we have to slow it down, right? So I'm slowing it down. So now as I'm walking to the bathroom, with every step, I'm thinking, I am a pure soul. I am a beautiful child of God. I am peaceful. I am in harmony with all of creation. Now I'm going into the bathroom. I am a peaceful soul. I am a generous hearted soul. I have a lot of love to give. I have unlimited love to give to the world. And as I'm doing my thing, going to the bathroom, getting ready to brush my teeth or whatever I'm doing, and now my heart is being filled, and now I bring that person comes into my awareness. So as I'm brushing my teeth, as I'm brushing the teeth, I'm just thinking, I'm sending this person pure vibrations from my heart. Good wishes and pure vibrations. I'm not thinking of the circumstances or the details. It's just like a heart to heart. I'm giving like a heart to heart, giving love from my heart as I'm brushing my teeth. So here I am, brushing my teeth. Okay. Okay, so now come out of the experience. Now I'd like someone to share, how did this little meditation feel as opposed to the first one? When we did the same thing before, and now we did this one. What's the difference? How did they feel?
A lot better than before. But I'm thinking, like, is it a good idea to like send that vibration while we are brushing our teeth or still in the bathroom? Like, or is it better done like during the actual meditation?
It's fine. I'm just giving you an example of something that we all have to do, like physically have to do. You could do it while you're washing the dishes or, but I'm just thinking, I know I think you're getting at, like, it's like maybe not the cleanest activity. Is that what you mean?
I mean, this kind of sending vibrations of Sakash to the people we'd like to, it's better done during a sitting down meditation, when we have a more powerful vibrations to give out, like, I don't know.
Right. And you have a good point. And I think it's just an example. It's just an example. And it's an example of starting your day that way. So the Sakash part doesn't have to be while brushing your teeth. It's just an example, okay? But the idea is to get it started when your day starts.
Right. Okay.
Okay. So that's the idea. So, and if you look at the way it progressed, it's like I'm waking, I'm aware, I become aware, and then I start telling myself who I am, right? So I'm generating this kind of pure, peaceful power, and then naturally it wants to come out, right? Naturally, there's like someone comes up and I can give, right? That's the natural way that a soul functions, okay? It's quite unnatural for us to be functioning the way we're functioning. It's quite unnatural, and we've accepted that maybe it's unhealthy, right?
Thank you.
So you're welcome. Someone else, what do you think? What was the first one versus the second one? How did they feel?
It is more peaceful.
I can share my experience.
Yes.
When I was going through this meditation, I didn't think of giving Sakash as such, but when I was visualizing myself brushing my teeth and thinking about this person, wishes, my heart just felt like love for that person. I just felt more loving and giving. I was just feeling the love for that person.
And then what does that do for you?
Good feeling. It's a good feeling.
Yeah. See, and was it like natural? Did you have to try?
Otherwise also, Yes. No, I didn't have to try. So otherwise also when I'm brushing my teeth or I'm just washing my face, I have some thoughts anyways, which I'm not being very aware of. But when I was doing this meditation, I felt that it was a very good feeling it gave me. I don't know whether those vibrations reached that person at this moment. I was not thinking about that. So I just felt very loving.
Yeah, what we're talking right now is the secret to happiness right now. This is what we're talking about right now. Does someone else want to share?
I like the feeling going heart to heart. So it wasn't like mental thought. It was just emotion going from my heart to that heart. And it felt very empowering and fulfilling.
Yeah. It's beautiful. What else? Someone else want to share?
Sister Sheila, I'm sorry, sister, we do, because of this Brahma Kumari's knowledge and everything, in the morning, 1 hour with all the prayers for family and for all the people in the world and everything, we learn a lot. So we are doing same thing, means all these things in the morning and the evening. But in the daytime, when the problem comes up, you get little bit tighten up, but then you can, now you know that how you can fix it. Means lower down your thoughts and, okay, this happened, it's happened. Let's do what? Means we learn a lot from that, and it's really peaceful. It's really peaceful.
Yes. And you're right. We do in Brahma Kumaris, we get up very early in the morning and do what we call Amrit Vela, which is morning meditation. And again, that's the first thing we do, right?
Yeah.
We get up, we brush our teeth. You know, I'm getting into the brushing the teeth so much, but it's something that we do. All of us get up and do it, right? But we get and we sit in for meditation. Is the first thing we do in the morning. So not only are you getting up and you're taking care of yourself, you're staying in silence, but then you're sitting in meditation and you're generating these pure and positive thoughts. You're remembering the Supreme Soul. You're remembering that you're eternal. You're being soul conscious, and you're generating that kind of power. That experience helps you throughout the whole day.
Throughout the day, yeah.
But I'm going to say, even with that morning meditation, even if it's super powerful, we're still having worried thoughts, waste thoughts, right? During the day. Because as we're going through our day, the sanskars are being stimulated by what's happening, right? If I see the news, if somebody says something to me, if I get a physical pain, then it triggers, I'm afraid of this, or I think about this, and it's triggering, trigger, right? So when we do that morning meditation, you're actually helping yourself. You're giving yourself a boost to handle all of those triggers throughout the day. You're giving yourself a boost, okay? And at night, if you take care of yourself at night, you're also helping yourself by completing the day, by having coming to terms with your day, and then going to sleep in peace. You're also taking care of yourself. But what happens in the rest of those 15 hours during the day? We need to look critically at what's going on in my mind, and we need to start changing the thinking and be brave and courageous.
Right.
One of the things that we were saying before about that self-critical thought, I'm going to say that my feeling is that is the most destructive thing going on in our minds right now. It is the most destructive, and it is the most energy draining thing that happens. So I would say that would be something to focus on. That would be something to make it a priority to try to eliminate, or try to not believe it, or try to take its power away, right? Because that is the most damaging. Because if I'm trying to become powerful and peaceful and good, and then 3 hours later, I'm in my day and I'm beating myself up because I did a mistake or I did this or I did that. Anything, it all drains, all that energy is gone, right? It's like I'm shooting myself in the foot. So what I want to say is that, you know, we're going to talk about next about how do I change, like throughout the day, how do I change? So we say, okay, we have to practice meditation, which we do. So we get that boost in the daytime. But what good is it to build up that energy and then have it drained out all day long?
But you can reason out, right? You can the negative thought, you can reason out that no, okay, this happened, it happened. Let's say this positive, like you know how to take positive about everything now that we learn from this Brahma Kumari knowledge and
Yes.
meditation from the morning and evening, then you can do better than before.
Yes. And I think, and you're right, we have a way, it's easier for us to accept situations.
Yeah, accept that.
It's easier for us to move on. We don't get stuck, right? We're able to move through situations better. Let me see what this person wrote here. In spite of all the affirmation meditation, you still feel lonely, inspire of no time because of work and being busy, right? So this is what I'm talking about now. I want to, and this was the whole purpose of this video, this class actually. Everyone has their own like thing that they feel strongly about, and the thing I feel strongly about is that even though we may be thinking we're okay, or we're telling ourselves that I'm doing okay or whatever, there's something still wrong in here. There's something not wrong, but there's something still not, I'm not, what's the word? I'm not peaceful throughout the day. Maybe I'm peaceful in the morning, maybe I'm peaceful at night, but different times in the day. And as you said, sister, maybe, you know, maybe I'm better, I'm getting better, right? But maybe we can get even better. Maybe we can get even better. Maybe we can actually train our mind to be our friend, to support, to be peaceful and quiet and cooperative. So how do I do that? So this last section we're going to talk about how do I now that we've talked about all this. And by the way, it doesn't mean that we haven't made progress. We're all of us here watching this are all into spirituality. We've all been making effort, right? So it's not like, you know, we haven't done anything. It's more like, let's go to the next step. Let's go to the next level. What about a life, the whole day where I don't have a negative thought? How about that? Or a whole day or days and days and days where I don't feel worried ever. I don't feel upset. I don't have any waste thoughts. I go to work and I'm not upset at work. Is that possible? You know, it is possible.
Yes.
It is possible. And it has to be possible because we can't quit work, right? So what am I going to do? I can't leave my family. I can't leave, you know, it's all still there. And this is what Raja Yoga is all about. This is why it's different than like, you know, the sannyasis or like monks or that go and live in the forest or the cave or whatever. We're still in our life here, but we're learning how to change our consciousness while still in our life. So in the last section, I'm going to talk about, I have a couple of steps on how do we now change the way our mind is functioning, okay? We're going to use the same way that sanskars are formed, which is you have a thought, you have a feeling that's attached to it, and then it translates into actions, right? When that happens, when that process happens, it creates a memory and it creates what we call that sanskar, that personality trait in you, okay? We're going to use that same exact process, but we're going to do it in a spiritual way. We're going to do it in a spiritual way. So there's going to be a couple of steps. The first step is prioritization. Prioritize. So we're going to do a quick introspection now. I want you all to think, what is the most important thing to you? What is the most important thing to you? And you don't have to say it out loud, but just think, what is the most important? And it might be, I want to feel happy with myself, or it might be, I want to feel at peace with everyone and everything. Usually people who are spiritual, usually it's something like that, right? I want to feel in harmony with myself. I want to feel like I know myself. I want to feel, empowered, or whatever it is. So whatever that thing is, whatever, put it into words, just a short sentence to yourself. What is the most important thing to you about your efforts, let's say? What's the most important thing? What is the thing that you want the most? Okay. So that would be prioritizing. So I figure out what's the most important thing. The second step, the second piece, is enthusiasm. So I want to get now energy behind that thing, right? So if I say I want to feel peaceful, now I want to get energy behind, I really want to feel peaceful. I'm just not saying I want to feel peaceful. I really want to be peaceful. And I'm willing to change in order to feel peaceful. I'm willing to do whatever it takes in order to feel powerful, in order to feel happy, in order to feel, right? So I'm willing to do whatever it takes. That would be like enthusiasm. I got energy behind it, right? So I'm prioritizing what's the most important thing. Get some enthusiasm. And the third is the commitment. I'm now going to commit to starting to align my thinking, feeling, and actions with that priority. Part of the reason that we're not happy is because what is most important to us is not being reflected in our actions and in our thoughts. We get disappointed, let's say. Like, for instance, if I say, I want to be spiritual, I want to be calm, I want to be a good person, and then I find myself having a fight, or I find myself whatever, and it's like, it's so upsetting and demoralizing because I know I don't want to be like that, right? But there's so much energy going on with those thoughts from before. I have to learn how to take the energy out of that and put it into this new way of being, this me, that the thoughts, words, and behavior and feelings, all my feelings are in alignment with that priority. And then the other thing is, once we get those three things, so I've prioritized, I have some energy, and now I'm going to commit. The next thing is I need to have a practice, right? So in Brahma Kumaris, we talk about, morning meditation. We talked about evening, just now, how to get your evening calming down and get ready for sleep. Also, that traffic control, a few minutes every couple of hours, or every hour, where you just stop what you're doing and just realign yourself with your priorities, with what you want, what you really want. We have to remind ourselves, okay? One more word to the wise. Remember how we did the little meditations? I'm going to say the reason that it worked, or the part of the reason that it worked, is because we slowed it down and we were watching it like a detached, right? Because it isn't happening right now. So we're able to like imagine it, So one thing you can do too is use this method that we did today twice. At night, before you go to sleep, run the day through your mind. Run your day, slow it down, and run your day through. Watch, what was I thinking here? What was going on here? When I was acting this way, what were my thoughts? Run the day through and watch like a detached observer, like we were watching detached, right? And then if you notice when everyone was sharing, you could share with such freedom, like, oh yeah, I felt this way and I felt this way and I felt so much better and it felt so much more peaceful this way. See how much insight, the energy is flowing, and you can see what's going on when you see it from a distance, right? When you do that, you're getting more information. It's like you're in school with yourself, right? You're getting more information to do a little bit better the next day. And do a little bit better means that your thoughts and your feelings and your behavior begins to match your priority. Little by little, it gets better and better and better. I do recommend that everybody does morning meditation, because I think that that powering up, like we need to power up to get that power to help us throughout the day. And then the nighttime, of course, as well. At the end, we're going to talk, they're going to show a way of getting in contact with the center there in LA to do, you know, Raj Yoga classes. And I'm sure there's the foundation course and everything. Highly recommend, highly, highly, highly recommend. For those of you who are not already BKs, that knowledge will help you so much. It can change everything, that knowledge. So highly recommend that too. We're going to do one last meditation before we close, but I wanted to ask for some, if anybody has any questions or any feedback or anything before we do a final meditation.
I have a comment with those 3 steps. And I think the way the industry works and everything, you do step 1, step 2, step 3, and at some point you go back and check it, like, am I doing it the way am I supposed to do, or is it working, or do I need to tweak it a little bit to work it better for me? So that, you know, like, go through those 3 steps, but at the same time, at some point, maybe weekly or monthly or whatever, go back and check it, see, is it doing it, or is there an improvement here following these 3 steps? And if it's not, or if it's plateau out, what do I need to do to bump it up again?
Very good. We have to check. And I think that's the whole, one of the biggest parts of this whole class was about checking. You know, if you don't check, you know, the thing's going to run wild, right? And I feel that we should be checking every day, actually. We should be running that movie at night and checking and committing ourselves to the priority that we have. I really do want to be peaceful. I really do want to get over this thing, whatever it is. Like sometimes you can have a goal to get over a certain behavior, or, you know, maybe I have a dependency. I'm really dependent and I'm scared to give something up, or I'm scared to change something, or whatever, and maybe I really want to let that go. And rather than going after it with the self-criticism and, you know, that kind of the ordinary way, maybe I'm going to go after it this way. And I'm going to say, you know what? I'm just going to watch myself, and I'm going to notice what's going on, and I'm going to reprioritize, and I'm going to do better and better every day. So yes, brother, very good. We have to check. And I suggest doing it every day, but do it in this way. Do it in this detached way, because then you can get the insights. You know, when you do it as detached, then you can get the insights of what's going on behind the behaviors.
And can we also use our mind in this way to heal the body when you have health challenges? And when you wake up, you're not feeling good, and you say, okay, I'll miss Amrit Vela and sleep. So how can we control the body with our mind like that?
Yeah, that's a really good point too. I don't have the answer, but I'll share my feeling and my experience right now. I feel like the best thing we can do for the body is to be loving and cooperative with the body. Generate feelings of love and cooperation for the body. Because whatever the body's going through, I really don't have control, you know, really. But one other thing I'll add, since you were asking about how to get, maybe heal, okay? This is just something I've tried and it's worked, okay? So it's a personal experience. But what I've tried is that I've being loving and being cooperative and also giving permission for it to leave. How about that? Giving permission for the illness to leave. Something like that, or for it to get better, or like, in other words, be like, have like an openness about it. Because problems, physical problems, we can very easily go down the rabbit hole, right? With our thoughts. We can react, we can be hopeless, we can be fearful, we can worry, we can feel confused and everything with going on with the body. So my suggestion, my experience is that to feel loving and cooperative. So I love this body. It's been supporting me. I'm giving good wishes and pure feelings. And that physically, that is going to help because you're giving positive hormones, and the chemicals that you're generating with those thoughts are healing and positive. If we have negative and fearful ones, then that's the kind of hormones and chemicals that are going into the body, right? So that, and then the thought that, when it's time, I'm ready. It can go whenever it's ready. Like it's like you just have an open door, like an open door policy.
Drama. And be thankful to each part of your body and every morning and evening. So it helps. Wherever is pain, you concentrate on that there is no pain there. Think about that and it helps.
It can. Any positive, any concentrated thought that's positive will definitely help. The other thing too, if there's pain, if you go into meditation, I know there are a lot of BKs listening, but if you do like bodiless stage, it can reduce the pain like big amount. So that's something to practice as well.
Hi,
Very good.
Could I add something?
Sure.
Hi, this is Bren. One thing that I've noticed is I'll ask my body, like what I'm feeling, and like, so for instance, let's say that I'm feeling sad. I'll ask my body, where is the sadness located in my body? And then let's say that it shows my stomach or something like that. I'll let my body express that feeling of sadness from the stomach and just kind of let it do its thing and sort of observe it and watch it. And it usually evolves and the stomach, pain would go away. This is actually, it's something called somatic therapy. And it's where you're releasing your emotions out of the various organs. So you can do it a couple different ways. You can do it where you have an emotion and say, where is it trapped in my body? Or you can have an organ or body part that hurts, and you can ask that part of your body what emotion is trapped in there, and then just listen for your body's response. And then you can actually start to work with it and release it. But
yeah,
you can something called somatic therapy. It's
yes,
brilliant.
thank you. Thank you for sharing that. I think there are all kinds of different methods. That's one. But I think that they all can be, I think we all need to be creative and open with our bodies rather than, negative. Like, I hate using these heavy words, but rather than an ordinary way of dealing with it, which maybe I would be afraid or resistant or feelings, negative or in not in harmony with. So I think that all of these methods, that's one, having good wishes and pure feelings, using light, imagining light pouring through your body, or practicing meditation, bodiless stage, watching as an observer, talking to the part that hurts and stuff. There's all different ways of creating a harmonious and positive relationship with your body. And then when things are able to manifest and able to go through, you're actually allowing things to pass through, which is very positive. So
Beautiful.
yes, very good. Thank you for sharing that.
And I just wanted to add, when we were doing the meditation earlier, it was really beautiful. And when I was sending love, what I felt was, I felt like this aura of love that I was generating, you know, of course, like through, you know, through my connection. But it felt like that whole love wasn't just going to that person, but it was just emanating from my being and just being, creating like almost like an auric field around me. And it just kept expanding and expanding the more I thought about how much I loved that person and sending them love. So that in itself will heal the body, right? Than having those negative thoughts that we have about ourselves. And
I got to tell you, what you just shared, sister, and what the brother shared and everything is the cure. I'm not going to say for illness, any specific illness, but I'm saying it's the cure certainly for the mind. And then my self-respect and how I feel about myself. And I actually then am being the being that I know I am, right?
Yes.
If I'm full of love and I'm emanating this love and I'm experiencing it in such a beautiful way. And it's almost like the other person is that doesn't even have to be there, because it's just me experiencing the generating of this love and peace and goodwill, and I'm experiencing it. That's spirituality. That's being soul conscious. That's what that's like. So yes, that's the aim. So we have to get out of this other, the idea is to get out of this other ordinary way of operating and go into this spiritual way of operating.
That was beautiful, beautifully said. And I guess one thing that I just realized as I was speaking about the somatic thing is, if we think of our body like our best friend, we could send that love to our own body. And also, it's not weird to ask your body, like, what is this pain? Why are you having this? Because if our body's our best friend, you know, we should be talking to it. You wouldn't just snub your best friend and say, oh, I'm not going to talk to you today, right? So it's not strange in any way. Our body does want to communicate back to us. We just have to listen.
It's so funny, and we're kind of out of time now, but it's so funny how maybe we could do another class where we could do what is my relationship with my body, you know, because that's like another whole thing we could talk about. But yes, we need to have a harmonious, loving relationship with our body and our mind, right? And ourself and myself. Right?
Yep, because it's all connected.
So
thank you so much.
Yes, we're out of time, but I want to thank you all for your loving attention and for participating. And I hope you had a good experience, and I hope you continue on your journey and connect with the center. And if you haven't learned Raj Yoga yet and you have not taken the course, I highly, like I said, highly recommend learning this. All the classes are free. It's all free. And it's absolutely phenomenal, and it would be a blessing in your life. So I want to say good night to everyone. You're going into meditation now, I think.
Yes.
Ben, right? Okay.
Thank
Well,
you.
thank you, everyone. It was very
Thank you,
nice to meet
sister.
you all.
Thank you.
Take
Thank you,
care.
sister.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.